We're back again. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Zone Six podcast. Today we have our first NFL episode. So yeah, what's good, boys?
It's
Yeah,
about time, bro. It's about
going
time.
on. Yeah,
It is about time. We're always looking to expand, and NFL after football and basketball. That's number three. We have the debate which sports better, NBA or NFL, but I'd say
NFL.
NFL is still.
NFL.
NFL.
You guys think the NFL is better than the NBA, like 100%?
Yes, bro.
100%.
Yes. 1000%.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Asking NFL.
I thought that was a normal take.
Yeah.
That's to me that's wild, but that's not what we're here
NBA
for.
for
I don't
me,
wanna- NBA for me, like I wish IK was here to defend me because IK and I watch 82 games a year. You guys watch
I can
Christmas
just a
games,
gambler,
Thanksgiving,
bro.
Rivals Week.
I watch some of the games too.
You watch
Yeah,
Philly
goddamn,
games. Like, I
Stu,
see you
another-
live tweeting
another
Philly
culprit.
games, but it's calm. It's calm. All right. So obviously we're starting at the top. Last season's MVP was Patrick Mahomes, but this season, so what we had is everyone sent me their results and I've tallied it up, similar to how we did it with the top 10 player rankings in soccer. So in fifth place of the MVP ranking, we have Lamar Jackson.
Ridiculous.
In, in Lamar Jackson, what I've done is I've gone 5 votes for first, 3 votes for second, and 1 vote for third to sort of give it weighting. So obviously first should carry more. In fourth place, we've got Joe Burrow. I don't even know if Joe Burrow is healthy because I saw a clip of him going down in training a couple weeks
He said he's
ago.
good
Nah,
to
his
go.
coach
He
said
he's
he's
good to
good.
go.
He's starting.
Yeah, his coach said
Okay,
he's
cool.
good.
So Joe Burrow in fourth. Last season's MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes is third.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I just realized I forgot to put my own results, but I'll continue anyway. Second and first is a tie. We've got Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts tied in first. Joe Burrow was in fourth, so we've got a co-MVP, which obviously isn't going to happen. So I feel like we should come to a consensus so we can say X player's MVP. Are we going Josh Allen or Joe Burrow? Sorry, Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts for
I feel
sure.
like-
Yeah,
No, Lamar. Sorry,
I feel like
Lamar.
I feel like the MVP comes between like two things. It becomes like interceptions and how many times you lose. And I feel like between them two teams, like who's more likely to throw interceptions. And because the Eagles, like they have a huge run game, I feel like that's definitely gonna be Josh Allen. And then obviously the AFC is harder, so I feel like the Eagles gonna lose those games.
Also
That's
narrative
fair.
as well, though. Like
Also
right
what?
now, narrative as well. Both of them have
Yeah.
good narratives to win. Allen, how many years has he been striving to beat Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl? When you look at Jalen Hurts, look at Jalen Hurts last year Super Bowl. That nigga played
Right.
Super Bowl, bro. This is his year to come back, win division
Yeah.
again, get to the NFC Championship, and then seal the deal with the Super Bowl and then MVP trophy.
I hear
That's
it. I do hear because they came so
Lamar.
close. They came so close last year. Like I was in the run up. Obviously, I wanted the Chiefs to win, but I was genuinely scared because that Eagles team was more than capable. If Hurts, as sad as it is, if Hurts doesn't fumble in the second quarter, I think it was the Eagles win that game 9 times out of 10.
But
So it's
the-
painful, but yeah.
It's just the Chiefs and the refs just won the game. But continue.
Let's not
Oh,
drag. I was gonna
yeah.
say a less controversial discussion would be: is Hurts a top 3 quarterback right now, or is this the season that he has the opportunity to prove he's a top 3 quarterback? Because Mahomes is number 1, however you want to slice it.
I think
Then
Hurts
for me,
is-
it's Burrow and Allen, 2 and 3, whichever direction you want to go.
Yeah, I think that's 3. I think that's the 3.
And then is Hurts
Hurts is
4,
top
or
5.
are we saying
Yeah.
there's Mahomes? Sorry, there's Rodgers. I don't want to say Herbert because
Lamar.
Hurts is better than Herbert.
Nah, I think before he gets crazy on this pod, I think Lamar is definitely top 5. Top 5. So I feel like
No, but look, my
Yeah, he
problem
is.
is I'm taking Aaron Rodgers before I take Lamar Jackson.
Bro, like,
That's-
oh my god, bro.
nah.
I-
This guy's
this
taking
is-
MVP,
okay,
man.
I don't want to skip to the hot take section, but Aaron Rodgers is going to prove all of you wrong this season.
I don't doubt
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers will do good.
He's gonna
but
do well
Lamar
with the Jets,
Jackson is
No,
going
because
to have
multiple
the best season
multiple
ever.
of you have the Jets as your flop team.
Yeah,
People have the Jets as their flop.
I wanted to put the Jets, but yeah, we'll
So don't pretend like I'm saying I'm going against you guys. I'm telling you now, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big year. I've seen it already. Someone said they're missing the playoffs as well, which to me is blasphemy.
Who,
But
the
I
again,
wanted to
Jets?
see that.
It's tight. It's tight. That division is serious. All four
Yeah.
teams.
all four, yeah, they're in a tough division. I'll give you that much. But yeah, let's not digress too much. There's sort of a 6, and then I think there's the next tier, which is Herbert. Obviously, Tom Brady's retired now. Dak is somewhere there. Kirk Cousins somewhere there. But I think there's quite a big gap between Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Rodgers, Hurts, and Jackson, and then the rest. But
Wait,
yeah,
question for you.
Herbert is in that list.
the
Yeah.
top 6.
Yeah.
But Herbert is top 10, but
I think Herbert is very, very top. Yeah, he's top 10 for sure. But I think he's 7. He's the closest of. He's above. He's above Dak, Kirk, and them. So I'll say Herbert's in that top echelon. But that top
Bro, I
echelon
had-
in itself has 2 tiers because Mahomes is above all these niggas. But that's neither here nor there. So
I
defensive.
had big expectations for this guy.
Look, if you ask me, Lamar Jackson is the best QB in the NFL. But guys will just start. I have proof. I can back it up.
I just
can
don't
talk
think you
about
have
it.
enough evidence to say that.
Bro,
Explain.
like if-
Explain.
We'll
Yeah,
leave
I
it
feel
for
like-
the
I feel like-
quote unquote hot take section. But yes, bro, if you ask me, Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I have so much stuff to defend this. Like, it's not.
Is that based on
it's not a hot
talent? Is that
take.
based on what you believe he's capable of, or what you've actually seen?
Bro, it's
Facts.
what we've seen, what he's capable of, what he
Bro,
can
he's-
do.
bro,
I'm telling you, this
he's
season,
won one playoff
he will
game.
throw for
One playoff
4,000 yards and he'll run a rush for 1,000 yards. 4,000,
Bro, how many
1,000.
playoff games? I feel like Trevor Lawrence is in
Oh shit! I didn't mention Trevor Lawrence.
When you think about-
that's my fault.
when you think about what somebody could do, like potential, I think he's definitely in that top. Obviously, his just last year's the first time, but in the playoffs. But in terms of what you see somebody could do, if you've been following him since college, like he barely lost a game, so he's like that type of quarterback.
I'd have Lawrence over Dak and Kirk Cousins right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have him at
wouldn't
8.
I
I think
agree.
at 8
Yeah.
after between Herbert and Kirk or Dak, whichever one you want to put.
Both of them. Both of
Yeah,
them.
for
You
sure.
can't trust either of them in the playoffs.
Yeah, Kirk. I
What's it
I
called?
don't know
Herbert
if you
doesn't get
guys
enough
have watched.
slander for that.
I don't know if you guys have watched quarterback yet, but like Kirk is just a good player that's never gonna win anything. He just
Yeah, I can't lie.
Yeah.
he's good
He's
but not great.
Yeah, he's just he's a calm.
He's a glorified game manager.
And he
Yeah.
has some fucking crazy weapons, and he just, you feel me?
Yeah.
He has the best wide receiver in football, and
Justin
he
Jefferson.
doesn't underuse them. Obviously, he helped Jefferson to achieve offensive player of the year
Yeah.
last year.
No. Hold on. You think?
Bro,
Justin-
imagine Jefferson and Chiefs. Like,
Wait, hold up. You think Justin Jefferson is better than Devontae Adams? Nah.
debatable.
Overall,
It's
no.
close.
But right
It's
now,
close.
It's
Right
his
now,
my
no.
wide
That's
receiver.
fucking crazy.
You
bro.
can't-
I'm taking
What
Justin
about-
Jefferson. After that last season, you have to go with Justin Jefferson.
There's sort of
yeah, I'll
6
give Justin
receivers.
Jefferson.
There are 6 receivers where you're happy with anyone. You're happy with Diggs. You're happy with Cup. You're happy with Hopkins. You're happy with Chase.
Hill.
You're happy with Jefferson. But I
Hill.
think when you really like
Hill.
split atoms and actually look like, I think Jefferson stands above the rest just. And I put Chase's top 3. I don't know how you want to rank it because obviously Cup had one of the craziest individual seasons ever.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. Like they're all the gaps between them. It's the same as the quarterback issue. The gaps between them are so small at that like top level.
but wait, I wouldn't say with the top 6, I'm happy with either of them. I'm not happy with Diggs though. Give me Chase.
Yeah. Facts.
Monty and
Facts. I'm
Jefferson.
gonna say
You
like
guys don't rate Diggs like that.
You guys are
Bro,
really
he's nice. He's nice, but the
Yeah,
impact
bro.
in games, bro.
Listen,
when
listen.
we're playing the Bengals, I'm always afraid of Jamar
Chase.
Chase.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Facts.
he's a
That's
demon.
a weapon.
Yo.
Stephen Diggs, you can phase him out a bit, but
See, but-
Chase, Jefferson, they're constant all game, bro. So I
See,
can't say that top 6 is too broad, bro. Narrow it down to 3 receivers. Chase,
Yeah.
Devontae.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
When you
Cup.
talk about
It's
route
Cup.
runners, though,
It's
Diggs
Cup
is up
4.
there, like top 5.
Okay,
Right
so,
now, he's 4. Right now, he's 4.
Okay, so I feel like it's one thing about a receiver who's going to catch the ball on the outside and somebody's going to catch in the slot, right? I feel like catching the ball in the slot is kind of easier because you gotta realize like you run it against like you feel me, like people in the outfield, you feel me. But if you catching a ball on the outside, that's why I put Chase right there with Jefferson. Like if somebody tells me that they take Jamar Chase over Jefferson, I'm like, I'm gonna listen. But I hear what he's saying about Diggs. Diggs, like he gonna really burn you on the routes. So yeah.
See, I'm a bit salty because I'm a Ravens fan and this Chase guy has burnt us a couple of times. Granted, it was against some lower level DBs, but I would definitely put 1 and 2 as interchangeable between Jefferson and Devontae Adams because Devontae Adams, I think just catching, like pure catching ability. Well, Justin Jefferson did have that crazy catch last season, but Devontae Adams is right there. He also had this insane catch. I'm trying to remember against which team,
The Niners.
but it was on the byline. You guys are like,
Yeah,
I think
the
it was the Niners on
Yeah.
the byline too. And his route running, you could also argue that Devontae Adams has the best route running in the league. So it's really close. I would put Justin Jefferson just because the last season that he had, and then I would go Devontae Adams. Chase is good, but I'd give Chase credit that he's really hard to tackle. Like he doesn't even seem that big when you see him on team, but he's like every time that he plays us, I'd say it's like he's dragging like 2 guys like on with him, and it doesn't really make much sense to me. But I would maybe take. I guess you could put him over Diggs. Diggs didn't have the best season like last season. Like even though he did, I think he had over 1,000, but it wasn't like he wasn't as consistent. There was some times there wasn't chemistry between him and Josh Allen. That's why.
Yeah, I saw him getting emotional and complaining a lot, which is kind of crazy because you have a top 3 quarterback on the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm the Bills. I have a lot of doubt for the Bills going into next season. We can get into that later, and I'll explain it more. But yeah, it's kind of hard when you're trying to rank those top wide receivers because
I was going to say there's one person we haven't mentioned, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, So just one thing quick about Tyreek Hill. I feel like when we look at like obviously we saying Kirk Cousins is whatever, right? And I feel like on that next level after Mahomes, I think this might be a hot take, but I think Tua is on that level. Like a healthy Tua is on that second. It's on that second level, right? But I feel like, that's just me, a hot take. I'm just, the whole body of work.
So you have Tua above Kirk.
I think they're on the same level. I think they're in the same tier.
I take Tua over Kirk. Yeah, I take Tua.
I take Tua over Kirk.
I feel like Tyreek Hill left Mahomes.
No, Tua over Kirk.
Yeah.
I take Kirk. Sorry.
Boy, thing about Tyreek Hill is he left Mahomes, and it was a point in the season where we're like, yo, he's like he could be MVP. Like he was having that, you feel me, type of season. So I feel like if you could be like that type of receiver without like a quarterback, it also shows like whatever system you playing, and then everybody focusing on Tyreek Hill also let like Jalen Waddle have like a really, really good season. I don't know if he had 1,000.
He had 1,000 as well.
Yeah, so I feel like Tyreek Hill is sometimes he's like left off these like debates just because of his like what he did with Mahomes, but he's also, you feel me, also turn it up.
Question for you.
Yeah, I think wideout is arguably the most stacked position in the NFL because I mean we haven't mentioned. Yeah. Well, you mentioned Waddle just now. We haven't mentioned McLaurin. We haven't mentioned DK Metcalf. We haven't mentioned Amon-Ra. We haven't mentioned what's the Eagles receiver? AJ Brown. Like even Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel. If he's
Sky Wilson,
that's a running back.
Wide back, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like it's a stupidly stacked position. So you can't really go wrong. Someone like one of my hot takes is OBJ. I think he's gonna have a big year. I pray he has an injury-free year because he's earned. Obviously, OBJ was about to be Super Bowl MVP. Don't get it twisted. He was cooking in that game. Like he was on fire on the biggest stage. 2 years ago, though.
Wait, was it? And it was.
It's one. I guess a year and a half. It was February 20th.
He had a year to rest. Good for him.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Obviously, he's going to lose a bit of his explosivity. If that's a word, because there's only so many times you can bust your knee and come back the same. Like the injuries are gonna catch up. It's gonna take years off his career, which is unfortunate. But I feel like Zay Flowers being there means he doesn't have to be that outright wide receiver one. Like he can take, I don't say time off, but he's not gonna have that much pressure on him. And obviously, Andrews is there as well as an option. So I just think it's gonna work. I'm excited for the Ravens season. That's one of my takes, at least, that OBJ is gonna have a big year. But
I got a question though. You guys are not talking about Amari Cooper in terms of route running and stuff like that. Amari's still nice. He's still
Yeah,
nice.
no,
Amari is
Amari
nice.
is
Yeah.
nice.
I think obviously he's on my team, so I've watched him a lot. I think he's a very good receiver, but I think at the championship, well, when you're talking the creme de la creme, he's not top 10 or 15, which is not a slight on him because there's so many
Top
talented
15?
receivers.
Top 15. I think he's
He
top
might,
15.
nah. I
Do
think
you
he
have
top-
Amari Cooper
Top
over someone like Mike
15?
Evans or
I don't
DeAndre
think
Hopkins?
Amari Cooper
Yeah,
is top
yeah.
15.
Mike
You have
Evans,
him
yeah.
over Hopkins
Hopkins. No.
No.
because we didn't even mention Hopkins. Like we mentioned like
Nah,
10.
he's been hurt for like 2 years. I don't even, you feel me? He's just
No,
been
but
hurt.
last year he came back and he was good.
He was doing well. Yeah,
Like,
he was doing
yeah.
well last year.
I
He's
just think
done
the
this
position
year.
is so stacked that
I'm not taking Amari
Cooper.
Cooper over Keenan Allen either. Like, if you ask
Nah,
me.
give me
That
give
one
me
I'd take Amari Cooper. I
Give me
think.
Amari. Give me Amari.
Even this guy Godwin. G.
Don't mind.
No, I take Amari over Godwin just because of the ACL.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting, obviously, seeing Cleveland, see what Deshaun Watson could do because there's kind of no pressure. We stunk the last 2 years.
No, there's pressure. There's pressure on
There's
him.
definitely pressure.
There's pressure.
They paid him a lot of
He
money.
has to work- His contract is.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
like-
paid him
okay,
a lot of
yeah,
money.
I forgot about the
They
contract.
gave away their whole
Guaranteed,
everything into that deal.
Fully
They-
guaranteed.
That's a lot of guaranteed money to give someone that hadn't played football for over a year at the time, which I still don't understand. Obviously, when you're coming off Baker, anything else feels better because Baker
Right.
emotionally is a top guy, but when it actually comes to making a play, he's just not got the mineral. So I think the Bucks are going to struggle majorly this year, but that's a different discussion.
To be
On to the
fair-
next.
But wait, back to Watson. To be fair, his body of work before
Yo,
was solid. Like he threw.
Oh
for
yeah, he was
40.
top 5. He was top 5 before. Like
That's what I'm saying, bro. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
does. I wouldn't say he deserved fully guaranteed, but he deserved a big contract.
yeah,
So-
it's an investment. It's an investment because
What about your
the returns,
thoughts on
his
that?
highs are very high. So you have to have faith that he's going to be able to receive. And realistically, who's Cleveland paying anyway, other than Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett? There's no one else that I'd say is.
David and Joe.
wait,
Antonio-
before we
Njoku's
before we
calm.
go on to the next topic, I just wanted, what do y'all think about the Dak and Trey Lance situation? You think, obviously, you think Trey Lance has a shot? You feel me?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know why they traded for him. It makes no
I-
sense to me.
It's from a contractual standpoint because Dak has, after this, he has 1 more year left, and Dallas will have to
Yeah.
pay him again. And are they sure they want to spend another $40 million on
Yeah.
just making the playoffs? So it's like,
You can't win a
No,
Super Bowl with
I
Dak.
hear that because Dak's
Yeah, but
last
Trey Lance
season
is
was
not the answer. Yeah.
yeah,
No, of
that's the
course.
only problem.
But you don't know yet. Like you haven't seen him
Yeah.
play a full season yet. So I mean, he has potential. But when did he get drafted? Like 2 years ago now. Time is
Top,
running out. for him.
top 2, top 3 pick. They traded the fucking house, bro.
Exactly.
If Shanahan wasn't like one of the top minds and like what they have in the rest of the team, we probably would be looking at that as like, I feel like it's the same shit with James Wiseman. Like if they didn't win,
Exactly.
they didn't win again with Wiggins and Steph. Like you'd be like, yo, you wasted a second pick. You sent him to Detroit. Obviously, talking about Wiseman. Now you just traded for like a 4th, 5th round. They just crazy, bro.
Yeah, I hate Dax. Yeah, Dax last season was. I mean, his turnovers and touchdowns were almost twinning.
He led the league. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
He led the league. in
and he
turnovers.
didn't
Yeah,
even
but
play
a
the
lot of
full.
them-
He was injured and still
Yeah,
left
he
the
was-
league.
He had 15.
Yeah,
Was it
almost
15?
like
I thought it was-
really his fault.
Yeah, it
So
was.
I was
23
looking up before the pod.
Who was
Led the
second?
league. Josh Allen. Another reason that I'm saying the Bills. Josh Allen, 14 turnovers, 13 fumbles.
Bro, and
The
he
fumbles
playoffs.
is a big one. The fumbles is a big because I don't check fumbles a lot, but
The
fumbles. Is a
last
big
time he had that many fumbles, 14 fumbles, was his rookie season, 13 last season. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. It's a big year for him because obviously it's like, what type of player is he going to be? Because ball security, there's no sport where possession matters as much as the NFL. Like you can't lose the ball. That's the whole MO. So yes, we'll see. And speaking of losing the ball or gaining the ball, defensive player of the year. We've got a tie at the top, but we've got four selections here. I hope I haven't missed anybody. We've got Myles Garrett tied 3rd with Sauce Gardner. And then in 1st place, we've got TJ Watt tied with Micah Parsons. So let's come to a consensus. Who's the defensive player of the year? I thought Myles Garrett should get more love because he's always incredible. But
Yeah.
obviously I'm slightly biased. So yeah, who's defensive player of the year, TJ or Micah?
TJ.
I'm gonna go.
I
After
don't
the
really
game, I
mind
pick
either.
TJ.
Nah,
I
TJ
don't
coming off
know.
injury.
I
Look
don't
at
know.
2 years ago, 22 and a half. Nah,
Yeah,
he's different.
and like
Look at
12
this,
games or so.
bro. Look
Or
at
is it
this
Even
schedule.
last
schedule?
season, the opener before he tore his bicep for those couple of weeks, he was destroying that Bengals O line. That was part of the reason people were arguing. How did these guys spend so much money on their O line and they got worse? Because he was killing them. He's incredible. Even when he plays us, I remember last season as well when we had Snoop, and it was hell. Like going against the Steelers, I'm definitely going with him as the number one guy.
I feel like we should get some stats involved because I want to know how many sacks like Parsons, bro. Parsons, like if you playing against Parsons, you know that like we gotta get that ball out quick, bro. And same
That's
shit with
true.
Bosa, but I'm saying like I just want to know some stats.
Parsons got 13 sacks in his rookie year and then 13.5 last season.
Tough.
Plus, he's very versatile.
TJ Watt only got 5.5 last year because of the injury, but the season before he got 22.5.
Dog, like,
which is
come on, man.
that's as much as Parsons in 2 years. Like, that's
Come on.
crazy. Let me check Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, another
Myles
beast,
Garrett had
man.
16 sacks last 2 years, which is more than Micah in both seasons, just for the record. But yeah, I think TJ, if he's healthy, obviously, I think TJ has to be the winner here.
AFC
I
North
feel like
is just messed up with defenders, man. Like, come on.
The Cowboys defense as a whole is also crazy. Also, obviously, he didn't get any votes. What's the name of the Eagles?
Gilmore.
Hassan.
Hassan
Reddick. Tough. He's tough.
Mm.
Chris Jones, like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, we obviously talked about this in a different pod, but like the importance of having a D, like, we compare like, would you want 20 sacks or 20 touchdowns, bro? Listen, man, give me 20 sacks every time.
No one mentioned Aaron Donald, which I guess is a symptom of the Rams sort of falling into irrelevancy. But that was interesting. I literally had to check. I was like, did Donald retire? And I missed or something because nobody mentioned him at all. But we've done defensive player of the year, onto offensive player of the year. We had some different responses here. Somebody said Mahomes, which I just don't see happening because they're not going to give it to a QB realistically. Because
who said Mahomes? I just want to know.
It's one of these guys.
Bro, who said Mahomes?
Look at the light skills guy.
Own up to your tomfoolery. Who fucking said
Mahomes is winning it all to you. Feel me?
This guy said Mahomes MVP and Mahomes offensive player of the year.
Has that ever happened in history? I just want to know.
That has to be impossible.
Probably not.
I don't think that's possible. We had somebody said Justin Jefferson, which was I was expecting to hear that name a lot. We had a Jamar Chase, we had a Christian McCaffrey, and we had what was the last one? Tyreek Hill. So we've got 4 big names. These are all 4.
I had one in there. Garrett Wilson.
You were Tyreek Hill.
Oh, I changed it. I don't know if you saw it. I changed it. Garrett Wilson.
Change it to Garrett Wilson. That's true. So you think you're down on the Jets, but you think Garrett Wilson's going to win?
No, I wasn't down on the Jets.
Oh, you're not one of them. Okay.
No. I'm down. I'm not down on the Jets.
Yeah, I like Garrett Wilson, C-Mac, Chase, and Jay Jetta. So where do we go from? Who wants to? I feel like everyone should stake their claim. We'll sort of decide who's made the best case. So start with Chase. Who said Chase?
I said Chase.
What's the claim? Why is he the offensive player of the year?
Claim? I feel like people sort of underestimate him just a bit because it's like the 9 touchdowns, 1,500 receiving yards. All right, cool. But it's like this guy is doing it consistently for 2-3 years now, and he's a main top threat the league, bro. Top 3 receivers, and it's like, yo, him and Joe Burrow, they have a statement season, bro. I feel like they can go to the Super Bowl this year, and I feel that's why he's gonna make the offensive player of the year award, bro. It's as simple as that.
I hear it. You make a good argument. Let's go stick on wide receivers. Let's go Justin Jefferson.
My fault. Like, I want to change my shit to Christian McCaffrey because I feel like I don't know who said McCaffrey, but I just like I didn't really think about McCaffrey, but I feel like I'm really down on the Vikings this year. Like, not only are they gonna have Jordan Addison, who, like, if y'all know Jordan Addison, Kyle's like I don't know how early he went, but he's like a top 3 receiver in the class, and I feel like KJ Osborne is going to take a leap. Like, I loved him on Madden. He was so tough on Madden. So when you have 2 other receivers, it's going to take some like what you call them, some catches or whatever from Justin Jefferson, even though they still had KJ last year. But I feel like I'm not really high on the Vikings. Like Kirk Cousins, after I watched quarterback, he was just blowing my shit. So I'm gonna take I like the Garrett Wilson. That's a really smart answer. But I take Chris McCaffrey because I don't understand the QB situation, and you know that they're just gonna run the ball a lot. So I feel like he's gonna have stats. That's one thing he's gonna have a lot this season, a lot of fucking stats. So yeah, McCaffrey. Wait, who said McCaffrey?
It was me.
Ahmed.
Yeah, fuck with McCaffrey.
I liked McCaffrey show because obviously the way the 49ers are, he's going to be a receiver and a running back. So his stats are going to be crazy, especially because I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for them to start the season because Lance is gone, Purdy's still injured. Who is
No, Purdy's back.
Is Purdy back?
He's recovered.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Either way, they have a lot of chunk players, and so yeah, he's going to be very involved. And I think he's just a better player than Deebo Samuel, so I'd pick him over Samuel. But Chica, do you want to add on the Garrett Wilson take?
Sure. Before I even get to Garrett Wilson, one reason I would say, like, despite how good Christian McCaffrey is, the issue is their offense is too stacked. Like, there's too many good weapons. Ayuk, you have Kittle, CMC, Deebo Samuel. It's hard. Like, if the ball is getting spread out too much, one guy can't really shine. Why I'm saying Garrett Wilson is, I checked his stats last season. He had over 1,000 yards, rookie season. Look at the situation he was in. There was no stability in that Jets offense. It was Mike White was the QB1 for like half the season. Mike White, and then if it wasn't Mike White, it was Zach Wilson, who is a interception machine. So now you're getting Aaron Rodgers, who I also saw threw a touchdown to him, the preseason game that they played. You're getting Aaron Rodgers to a rookie that had over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns in his first season. I wouldn't be surprised if he touched over like maybe around 1,300, 1,500 yards, a couple more touchdowns. I'm going with Garrett Wilson. Offensive rookie of the year last season too. That's my pick.
One thing I'm gonna say though is it's kind of the same thing that you said about Christian McCaffrey. I think everything you said is right, but you gotta realize this season they got Dalvin Cook, they got Lazard, so that might take away from his production. I don't know.
But think of Devontae Adams, though, on the other side. Devontae Adams wasn't always that guy, but look at what Aaron Rodgers turned him into. Even though I don't take Aaron Rodgers over Lamar Jackson, not in any capacity, not at this point anyways. But I can respect what he can do for receivers. As for someone that's already as polished, I don't know if Devontae Adams, obviously I'm not saying that Garrett Wilson is better than Devontae Adams, but Devontae Adams was not as polished as he was in his first season. He was phenomenal. I remember how many times he burnt me in fantasy. I'm going with Garrett Wilson as my offensive player of the year.
I have a question though. Do you think the Jets with their schedule can actually they can do something? Because
I think the Jets can. I think the Jets will make the playoffs. I think the Jets can do a lot in that division. Their defense is stacked. Remember who they have? They have Quinnen Williams.
So
the defensive side of the ball, they're very solid there. Then you look at their running game, Breece Hall. You add Dalvin Cook, even though Dalvin Cook isn't as what he used to be.
He's still good.
Last season was a bit of a dip, though. He was very wishy-washy last season. That's what I'm basing it off of. I'm pretty sure he had his lowest yards per carry, for his not whole career, but it was really low. He had a down point. So I don't know. I don't know who the number one back in that backfield is, but that's not a bad option to choose from. They're both basically RB1s. So I'm going with the Jets. I think the Jets will be really good. I don't think the Jets will win it all. I think the Ravens will win it all, but I think the Jets will be formidable. I think they'll be better than the Bills.
I wanted to go with CMC, but Garrett Wilson winning Offensive Player of the Year means Aaron Rodgers has had a crazy season. So I'm gonna go with the Garrett Wilson take. So we're tied at 2-2. So we've got 2 for CMC, 2 for Wilson. So Adams and Truma, you guys are the deciding votes, and we'll wrap up at 30 and then start again on a part 2 with the remainders. Adams and Truma, Garrett Wilson or CMC?
I'll go with CMC.
Garrett Wilson.
because
Okay, we've achieved nothing.
What the fuck?
Okay, we'll end it on a draw there. We'll be back for part 2.
safe.